Hello and welcome to everyone to episode number 28 of Deep Point with GillyCricket. Uh, some disappointment on the cricket front that did not that a game did not happen yesterday, but a lot to cheer. As a country for all of us, given how we became the fourth country to reach the moon and the first to reach the south pole of the moon. So huge congratulations to all fellow Indians who are watching this. I really hope that it inspires our country and our society to reach greater heights and look to try and become better versions of ourselves and just become better people as a whole. I mean, and there couldn't really be a better inspiration than that. On that front, I think even BCCI took some inspiration and actually announced that tickets would be out today. They are out on Book My Show for non-India games. If any of you are looking to book them, so you can do that. But today's episode, since I've talked about World Cup and like the title says, is about to discuss how the Indian 15 and the Indian 11 could shape going into the World Cup. There's a 17-man squad that has been announced for the Asia Cup, along with a traveling reserve in Sanju Samson. So yeah, Ame says it's a momentous achievement. It is without a doubt. But yeah, like I was saying, today's episode is about discussing what could be India's potential 15 going into the World Cup and what are the various permutations and combinations that India could look at. Few updates that I want to give and share for those who might have missed out is that KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, along with Jasprit Bumrah, are back in the ODI squad. KL Rahul will not be available straight away for the group games. He will be available for the Super Fours. That's what was said in the press conference where uh, that is what was said in the press conference where Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar was there with Rohit Sharma. Just allow me a moment. And Sanju Samson is a traveling reserve because KL Rahul will probably not be available for those two games. So we can expect that Ishan Kishan will probably start in those first two games and probably will replace KL Rahul and maybe bat in the middle order because Rohit Sharma said that the top three is pretty much fixed. So there's that. Okay, a few questions have come in. I'll take them in the meantime, and when there are not questions, I'll continue on my thoughts because I really don't want people who tune in and look forward to this show, that they have to feel, that they have to keep waiting for their questions to be answered. So I'll start off with Chuchan because he was the first one to ask this. He says, Paji, thoughts on overloading Asia Cup with RHB batters? Do you think not having a LHB at top will hurt us in World Cup? It probably could. And I think one of the reasons why Tilak Verma got selected and Sanju Samson did not is because of the left-handed factor. Uh, and it's something that we have discussed quite a few times that yes, not having a left-hander is not ideal. But if you look at the potential top six, if everyone's fit, uh, you can't drop anyone else purely for a left-hander. And force fitting a left-hander just for the sake of it without ensuring that that left-hander has enough quality may not be the best thing to do. So yes, it is something that is not ideal, but I don't think it can be changed at this point of time. So that's what I feel. Uh, Next question is introspect is asking, Paji, would you consider an off spinner like Sundar or Ashwin in the final 15? See, again, it's very similar to having a left hander in the 11. You can, but ideally you want to have those players in the 15 who at some point of time can play in the 11, right? If you have Sundar or Ashwin in the 11, who are they going to replace in the squad or in the 11? Are they going to replace Kuldeep? I don't think so, and I don't think they'll be replacing Jadeja or anyone else. And Ashwin, I feel ODI is probably his worst format out of the three. In Test matches, he's a bona fide legend. I don't think I need to explain that. In T20s, he can get away by bowling defensively and bowling those tight spells. But in ODIs, where you have to bowl in middle overs where there are only four fielders outside. In T20, he has the luxury of five fielders outside. India would need wickets from them or wickets from him, and he's only played two ODIs post the 2017 Champions Trophy. So I don't think bringing in Ashwin is the right call. And this is a team that did not play him in his best format in WTC when Australia had four left-handers in the top seven. So I'm really not sure how they would have actually utilized Ashwin, even if he would have been in the squad uh, for the World Cup or for the Asia Cup. Sundar, yes, I think, but the it just comes down to the fact that he's not taken the next step in his batting, and his injuries have not helped him. And at this point of time, there is far more confidence in the abilities of Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja than Washington Sundar. So that's pretty much about it. What I feel about this debate. Uh, Arth Devangan asks your thoughts on constant down statements being given by Gambhir, Shastri, and Gavaskar regarding squad. See, I I don't want to repeat this again and again, and I don't want to come across as someone who's speaking like a broken record, but I've I've expressed a lot of displeasure on a lot of statements that are given by executors. I think they speak purely on their biases and not really looking at what have been the potential numbers or updating themselves. As far as Ravi Shastri is concerned, he's been contradicting himself a lot, and whatever he says contradicts the time how India played when he was the coach. And it's not like that the times have changed drastically. So he spoke about how Virat Kohli would be number four. I mean, Virat Kohli being a number four would have made much more sense under his tenure when Virat Kohli was at his peak and could play spin much better than that. So there are a lot of statements that that is given by these guys. I just ask people who watch this show and who want to educate themselves about cricket or want to be more informed viewers of cricket is to look at whatever is in front of you, look at the numbers, and then form an opinion. If you find someone's opinion, whether it's an executor, whether it's an analyst, whether it is any xyz person, if it's not matching with it, try and have a debate. And if there is not that space for debate, then probably don't pay heed to it. It is not a given thing that because an executor is saying something, because an analyst is saying something, or any xyz person is saying, that they will always be right. Even I could be wrong. So form your own opinions, try and understand what the other person is saying. If what they are saying is not making sense to you, then move on. I mean, can't really do something about what they keep saying. I've addressed this enough. I really don't know what else to say, because I think beyond the point it also becomes slightly, I mean, it could get disrespectful, and I don't want to venture into that. So that's what I want to say. Vikram Mohanty is here, again a regular viewer of the show. He's asking why KL is selected even when he's injured. Again, mind boggling. I am a little concerned as well that, if KL has not played in a long time, he's not played post the IPL, post that game where he got injured versus RCB in Lucknow. He's not played since then, and it is not going to be easy to straight away come back. And if he's not going to score enough runs straight away, he will also be down on confidence. So I am concerned about him, but I think the reason why he's been selected is because uh, the backups for Shreyas and KL have not been as consistent. So the team actually, the team management actually feels far more confident with the likes of Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul, even when there is some work to go for their fitness. KL also has had the experience of playing the last World Cup, so a lot of things are in his favor that way. Sachin Mundal says, "Hello, Paji, all good." Agarkar said Rahul is unavailable for the first game against Pakistan. What's the playing 11 with proper batting order? So my playing 11 for that first game would be Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma opening, Virat Kohli at number three, Shreyas Iyer at number four, Ishan Kishan at number five. You could swap between these two if you feel that there's a left arm spinner like Nawaz or Shadab is bowling well and you want to break that combination. Have Shreyas Iyer at five and Ishan Kishan at four. Then Hardik Pandya at six, Ravindra Jadeja at seven, uh, Shardul Thakur eight, Kuldeep Yadav nine, and my 10 and 11 would be Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah. You could make Jasprit Bumrah number 10, but that's what the 11 that I would go in with. So that's my 11. Amit the Gunnar says, my guess if KL's nickel is more serious than expected, I see Tilak Krishna to drop out from the team along with KL Sanju comes in. It could happen. It is possible. Yes, that's right. Nitin says, go with your best bowlers or increase batting depth. See, I think now playing ODI cricket or limited overs cricket is becoming difficult without having batting depth. You need batting till 8 at least. So if that is the scenario, Shardul Thakur will always be in the 11. And the good thing for India is that Shardul Thakur has actually improved. He's taken up wickets. His average has gone down. His strike rate is better, and his economy is also coming down. There are phases where he struggles, but he's the best number 8 that India have right now. It's as simple as that. So that way, India are able to play six bowling options and have and have batting till late. On turning tracks, maybe India could replace Shardul Thakur with Akshar Patel, and have that luxury where Hardik's the third pacer, and you have three spinners in Jadeja, Akshar, and Kuldeep. Now I know that some will say that Akshar is also a left arm spinner, so is someone like Ravindra Jadeja, but I feel both these spinners are very different in terms of operation. Jadeja is more straight armish. Akshar is round armish. Akshar comes slightly wider of the crease. Jadeja comes from from close to the wicket. So their trajectories are different. The pace that they bowl is at different. Akshar is quicker. Akshar is also taller. So a lot of these things make a lot of difference. And sometimes that little difference that is there in the release point, the trajectory, the speed, is what which can make all the difference. So that's my say on the situation. But yeah, I mean, people can again differ, but it is what it is. Before I take the next question, I want to request to all of you who are watching this, that please like this video, and if you like the content that we produce at cricket.com, please share it with your friends or family who you know are just cricket fanatics like you, and ask people to subscribe to us. You also should subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media. We are there on Twitter, we are there on Instagram and on Facebook, so please follow us there. You can also follow me on Gurkirat as Gill on Twitter or slash X, and you can follow me on Instagram as GillyCricket. So these are my accounts, and please do like the video. Thank you. Vikram, Vikram's asking also, why do we keep selecting Sunya? He's genuinely taking the piss out of Surya Kumar Yadav when he's clearly not cut out for ODIs. If he's not also performing in normal matches, how can he perform in pressure situations? So this is something that I tweeted on the day of the announcement of the Asia Cup squad. See, a lot of people will say that this is MI quota. You could say it is, but what I call it is, it's the captaincy quota. Because see, whosoever is the captain, right, at the end of the day, it is his head which is at the stake. It is his reputation which is at stake, and he's definitely a stakeholder in the decision making. So as a captain, you would like to select those players who you are comfortable with, and it's clear by now that the ceiling that Surya Kumar Yadav has is more exciting, uh, I'm forgetting the word that I was looking for, but it's more tempting. Yeah, it's more tempting for Rohit Sharma and company, and even Rahul Dravid, and that is why they are selecting Surya Kumar Yadav, because they expect him to sort of be like Glenn Maxwell or Liam Livingston, and it's a very high volatile role. And like you said, so far Surya Kumar Yadav hasn't done well, and you'd like to hope that he can improve, and I'd really hope that in the Asia Cup he can come good, and the Australia ODIs as well, so that going into the World Cup, there is enough confidence in his abilities and his skills for the team management and for the fans. Because if he carries that bad form into the World Cup, it's not going to bode well for his confidence either, and it's not the best place to be in. What do you expect the pitches to be like for the World Cup, and what would the Indian team like? I think the pitches, we could expect fresh pitches, wherein in the first half of the tournament they will have some pace and bounce, and they will be good for batting. I think going into the second half, late October and November, we could expect dew and expect teams to win the toss and chase a lot more. Uh, maybe in some venues in South India that might not be the case if there isn't enough dew, but in North India we can certainly expect that teams will win the toss and choose to bowl first going into the second half of the tournament. That is what I expect from the conditions. As far as what Indian team would like, I feel that Indian teams, Achilles heel is a flat pitch, because our batters are skilled and equipped enough to post a total of 320, 330, where a 300 is par. or maybe even they're capable of posting a 350 where 320 or 325 maybe par. But if it's a 370, 380 kind of a pitch, I think that is where the Indian batting sort of uh, is not comfortable, because you don't have those players who can hit out straight away. A lot of batsmen that India have are the ones who like to take their time, but once they get settled, whether it's Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they just go for it and they actually accelerate very well. So if pitches have some help for the bowlers, if they have just some grip, some movement, I think India would like that, because if there is movement, the likes of Shami and Siraj with the new ball can come in. Bumrah, I expect to be a very good bowler regardless of the conditions. But yes, I'd expect that India would want that the pitches have some help for the bowlers and are not entirely flat. Atharva J. Raut is asking, is Akshar and Jadeja different with the bowl? What are their strengths? Can you guide us? I think I did speak about it. I'm not sure if Atharva heard me then. Uh, uh, if you've heard me, you can tell me if you're watching. But what I was talking about is that their release points are different. Akshar comes wider of the crease. Jadeja comes from closer to the stumps. Akshar's taller, so his span of delivery and release point is higher. It's also wider. With Jadeja, it's more straight armish. Akshar is also quicker. Bowls with a flatter trajectory. Jadeja gives it a little more flight. So they are different in these terms. Aditya Anand asks, what does the travelling reserve mean? Though from the press conference, Rohit did emphasize that openers would open, which includes Krishan Shorty. Isn't that the whole point of taking Sanju as a reserve? I think he comes into the team if KL Rahul is not able to get fit and keep. If that doesn't happen, then he gets to play. Prospect asks, do you think Park Pacers can be threatening in the middle and death overs for India, especially on Kandy Ahmedabad pitches? I think, these two venues are quite different. Sri Lankan venues do assist a lot of swing bowling because of the sea breeze that is there. In Ahmedabad, under lights during the IPL, we saw the ball swing a lot. Uh, as far as doing something on docile pitches is concerned, I feel that Naseem Shah is the best suited for that on flat pitches. But yes, I think if there is enough help, then you know these guys can actually take advantage of it. Subrajyoti Prusti is asking, do you think one of Akshar Shardul warrant a place above Mohammad Shami in the 11, considering Bumrah and Siraj are logged in as frontline pacers? Yes, I think Shardul does. Maybe Akshar on pitches like Chennai or Lucknow if the pitch is slow. So yes. Nitin asks if there a possibility that both Akshar and Jaddu play. If not, then is Akshar only there as a cover for Jaddu? There is that possibility on slow pitches like the ones in Chennai and Lucknow, the way we saw in the IPL, and maybe in the second half of the tournament when the pitches actually slow down. Maybe if India play Afghanistan and Delhi. Now Delhi is also a pitch which is sometimes had some grip, and Akshar's played a lot of cricket at the Firozshah Kotla, given he plays for Delhi Capital. So there is a possibility. How big is that possibility is something that remains to be seen. My take is that will if KL is not fit to keep, you can pick Samson ahead of Ishan, because Ishan will not be able to bat at the middle and Sanju can at least take on spin. See, if that happens, I'm really not sure. Uh, I'm really not sure that what is your planning going into the World Cup, because then Sanju Samson should actually be a part of the squad and not be a traveling reserve. Because if you are playing him now, see, you have only what nine ODIs before the World Cup, and that is nine if India reaches the finals. If India don't reach the finals, it could actually be 2 and 3 5. So I'm not sure if that is a great way or a great strategy to try and work out players. If that is the case, that you want to pick Samson ahead of Ishan Kishan in the middle order, then you might as well have him in the squad ahead of Surya Kumar Yadav. I think if KL doesn't start in the Asia Cup, it would be Ishan Kishan who bats in the middle order. Why Shardul pick? What will be his role? Why not an off spinner? Yojak, because like I explained, uh, there are only two people who can be in contention for that or a off spinner role. Ravichandran Ashwin has only played two ODIs post the 2017 Champions Trophy, and ODI is probably his worst format. Uh, it is different from T20s in this regard that he will have to bowl in the middle overs when there are only four fielders outside and not five. And India would actually like him to pick wickets in the middle overs. And I feel that India think that the likes of Kuldeep and maybe Jadeja or Akshar are better options. And I don't think any of those players can, I don't think Ashwin can replace any of those players in the 11. The other option is Washington Sundar. Washington Sundar has not had enough game time, and his batting has really not taken or gone to the level that Shardul's batting has. Shardul's rarely improved with the bat and has shown time and again that he can chip in with valuable runs. So that is why Shardul is there, and his bowling has continuously improved. Yes, there are times where he will lack control, but still he's been able to do a much more decent job than what was expected of him, and he's really become a lot more reliable than what he was before. So that is why he's been picked. Chuchan says again he's taking the piss out of Rohit and Dravid. What will be the excuse from Dravid plus Roh when they will not win either Asia Cup or ODI World Cup this year? Any guesses? How can I guess this? I don't know, man. It's very difficult for me to say. All I all I say is that, see, I am the way I watch sport is very simple. I watch sport because I enjoy and I get entertainment from it. And I've in the last 20 years of cricket that I have watched, I have sort of tried to understand that results are not always in the control of your favorite team. Sometimes the opponents can play better. Sometimes you could just not have the desired luck. I won't really say that India have done everything in the best manner possible in the lead up to the World Cup. There have been mistakes for sure, and those who have been regular viewers of this show or shows on cricket.com will know that. So that what I'm just trying to say is that I don't know what excuse that they will come up with, but sometimes these things are not always an excuse. Sometimes they are also genuine reasons. So it is what it is, and yeah, again, it's the same thing that I said in the beginning, that you can listen to what cricketers and ex-cricketers say, form your opinion, and then try and you know maybe look to agree or disagree. That's completely your call, depending upon how you view things. It's very simple. It's analysis in a nutshell is very subjective. Not everything will be agreed upon by everyone. So you could disagree. It's your call. Ameda Gooner says, I see Akshar and Jaddu to both play on pitches like Ekana or Chipok alongside Kuldeep. Yes, that's something I have been saying for sure. Sujeevan Gara says, big fan of you, Paji. Gets more and more interest in cricket by listening to the way you speak about everything. Keep going. Thank you, Sujeevan, so much. I just want to request you that please like this video, please subscribe to cricket.com, and also follow me on social media. I look forward to having a lot more interactions of the game with you, and hopefully I can also learn something from you someday or the other, because I believe through sport all of us can learn something or the other from everyone. It's not that I am only there to teach and you are only there to learn. It can be a two-way process. Chris Noon says this press conference is a positive step towards progress. Ajit and Rohit did carry themselves well and did answer the questions. Yes, I hope to see a lot more of it in the future. I agree. John Smith says Sky's list A average is higher than Samson's. Sky also had a great start to ODI career in his first two series. Possible that Samson's ODI average is an outlier and will normalize with more games. Very difficult to answer this because, see, list A averages are also developed over years, and they are also a product of players not developing, or even developing with time, right? uh, what you are as a human being, let alone as a cricketer, is at 26, 27 is very different from what you are as a person when you're 22 or 23 years old. Right now, if you have started out early, which happened with Sanju Samson, then the chances of you having failures at the competitive level, like the list A cricket or Ranji Trophy level, is are also higher. So your averages will also be a product of that, right? Because you did not have a good start early on, and later on it improved. So it is difficult to say if Samsung's ODI average is an outlier and will it not. I'm sure it will come down because I don't think it can remain 56 given the kind of game he has. He likes to take risks, but I don't know if how much it will come down, or what would it eventually end up with, because the sample space is short for both. It could also happen that Surya Kumar Yadav can improve as an ODI cricketer, or he could go worse. So it's difficult to say. And again, like I said, list A averages. These list A averages are over a period of, for Surya Kumar Yadav, I think they are for over a period of 10 years, and for Sanju Samson as well, they are over a period of 7 to 8 years. So I think what would be more relevant to see is that what have been their list A averages over the course of last 2 years, because that is a better reflection of them as batters at this point of time rather than their overall career averages. I hope you understand what I've been trying to say, and the message that I've been trying to convey is also conveyed. Thank you. Pragati Mishra's here. Hello, Baji. Been a long time. Take on Bumrah's performance versus Ireland. Looked positive, not reached the peak speed consistently. Still like what I saw. Loved the captaincy. At least use Shivam in bowling. Uh, yeah, I mean, what I was happy about, and I spoke of it in the watch alongs that we did, that I was happy to see that Bumrah being accurate. Sometimes when you're coming back from an injury, you may not even have accuracy at all. So, yes, I don't think Bumrah bowled at his peak speed, but just to see him accurate enough and bowl his quota of overs without any discomfort was heartening to see. And yes, he's a very smart bowler. So my take on captaincy is very simple: is that if you are a smart cricketer in general, or if you are a smart cricketer who understands his or her game well, right, the tendency of you becoming a better captain or a good captain or a smart captain is obviously higher. So yes, I won't really judge Bumrah's captaincy on the basis of these two games alone, but yes, I do think that there's a leader somewhere in him, because he's a very thinking cricketer. He's also a smart cricketer who understands how the games function. So if you are able to understand the nitty gritties of the game, there are far the probability of you being a good captain is far more than uh, than what it would be if you were not uh, if you did not understand the nitty gritties of the game. Before I answer this question, just want to request all of you who are watching that please like the video and subscribe to you, cricket.com, and stay tuned for all the comments, all the content that we produce, and the watch alongs that we do. Right now, there are not no watch alongs, but we will be doing an Asia Cup preview soon. And during the Asia Cup, we will be having a preview show, a mid inning show, and a review show. So do tune into that as well. Now Vikram asked Paji, what about a right arm leg spinner? If not Chahal, at least we should have prepared Bishnoi for the role. He can also whack the ball. Such a missed opportunity. This I completely agree with you. I think India carried on with Chahal for far too long, even in T20s. He's still there in the T20 squad when Bishnoi should be given, a lot more games. Bishnoi has only played one ODI, which was versus South Africa in Lucknow. So yes, Bishnoi could have been that player, but the thing is that Bishnoi really doesn't turn the ball away from the left right hander. He also brings it in. If anything, Kuldeep with his googly can turn it away, and your traditional left arm spinners can turn it away. So with Kuldeep and Jadeja and Akshar being there, you have a set of spinners who can turn the ball either way. So you are covering those bases anyway. Kavin Kumar says, what do you think of Rohit and Virat being rested for ODI series? Personally, I would have liked them to play at least 2 games to get into the groove of ODI, because it is tough to directly play against Park. It's a question where both sides, like I think both arguments have their merits. Uh, I would have personally liked India to play us against Afghanistan instead of playing West Indies, to be very honest. Rather than playing West Indies in West Indies, I'd rather have India play Afghanistan at home against a team that will actually take part in the World Cup. Uh, if they would have played, yes, they would have been tested because the pitches weren't exactly flat in the first 2 days, especially. And like you mentioned, it's tough to directly get into that groove to play against Pakistan. But at the same point of time, if you wanted to try out players, there was no other opportunity. So it's it's a very tricky one to answer, quite honestly. I mean, there are merits and there are reasons for both lines of thinking. and somewhere I feel both are correct. Jayesh Nair says, don't you think we should consider playing an off spinner instead of Akshar? Also, Ishan in middle order could struggle to rotate strike versus spin. If KL is fit, it could disrupt the 11. I completely agree with the second part of the statement. As far as the first part is concerned, Jayesh, I have explained it two or three times. I think you tuned in late. Why India have not selected Ashwin or Sundar. I'd really request you to, once the show ends, that you go back and watch the first 5 minutes. You'll find the answer there. But right now, I'll have to take other questions. I'm sorry, Jayesh, but I hope you understand. Pragati Mishra is asking, which is one radical change in the World Cup squad you could see India could make? My guess is either Dhawan inclusion, either, and then what? Uh, or inclusion of Tilak could also mean India is looking at Ishan Kishan opening. I think the only thing that can happen is Tilak playing in place of the other. One radical inclusion could be, though I'm not confident of it, is that India would have someone like Prasidh Krishna replacing Akshar Patel in the squad, because I feel there are 13 players who select themselves in the World Cup squad. I'll just name them: Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Shardul Thakur, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, and Ishan Kishan. I think these 13 players select themselves. As far as the remaining two spots are concerned, I think one spot will go to an extra batter, which could be Surya Kumar Yadav or Tilak Verma. For me, it would have been Sanju Samson, but I think Sanju Samson could miss out if Surya Kumar Yadav does decently, because he's not in the Asia Cup squad. And the last spot would be between Akshar Patel and the extra pacer, or who knows, it could go to a spinner like Ravi Bishnoi. So that is the one radical change that I see happening, but that also is too radical. Tanmay Agarwal says narrative around Shardul is that just he just takes wicket somehow, basically implying he's a lucky wicket taker. I don't agree with this totally, but still don't understand his strengths. Your take? I think he's improved his control with the new ball as well as with the in the middle overs. But yes, I also feel that he does take a lot of lucky wickets. See, luck plays a role in life and in sport. Yes, he's lucky that way, but at the same time, I think he's improved with his control with the new ball, and as a first change bowler who can come on to bowl post the 10th over and between the 30th over. I think his area of struggle is still bowling at the death, which is why he struggles to control runs in T20s. So he's improved, but I still think he can improve further. And yes, I also feel that he is some ways God's favorite child in terms of the kind of wickets that he gets, because he gets some absolutely random wickets which you don't expect, and he does have that kind of luck. And I don't think people should take it as an insult or as an offense, because there are lucky cricketers. I do feel that someone like Ben Stokes, who's been, a phenomenal cricketer, has also been lucky at various points in time in his life, and it's okay. I mean, in many ways, you will also earn your luck, because you know you can also on the receiving side of luck or bad luck, and you can get hit for four sixes in 1 over when you have to defend 19 runs in the final of a World T20. So yes, he's lucky, but I think he's also improved. Both things can coexist. I don't think there's a need to say that, oh, he only takes lucky wickets, or he has improved and he doesn't take lucky wickets. I think both things can exist. Gurkirat, what teams do you expect to be surprised, be giant killers in World Cup despite not having the tags of favorites in World Cup? I think Bangladesh could be one team, depending upon the kind of pitches that they get, because they are a good ODI side. They rarely collapse, and they have batting depth. I mean, so many times you see the likes of Mohammadullah, Mehdi Hassan just come and score runs in the end, and their spinners can really sort of choke the opposition in the middle overs. So if they get pitches to their liking, they could do well. And we all know what Shakib did last World Cup, so there's that. I will never rule. I will never. I don't think Bangladesh is the kind of team that you can take lightly. I don't think that is possible. Arth Devangan asks, I don't think Jadeja will struggle much batting wise, but do you think his bowling form will have much bigger impact in World Cup and Asia Cup? I think if anything in this IPL he bowled really well. So if he's able to carry out that form carry on that form, then we may not have a problem. But difficult to say right now. If it doesn't come good, the backlash will be very hard. If he comes good, it will be termed as Rohit Masterclass. Uh, that has always been the case, with especially with because a lot of these calls uh, are based on hindsight. I mean, if you look at it, if Rohit Sharma wouldn't have turned into a good opener and India had not won the Champions Trophy in 2013, then MS Dhoni would have faced a lot of backlash for making Rohit Sharma the opener. Or if Suresh Raina had not come good in the quarter-final and the semi-finals of the 2011 World Cup, then everyone would have criticized MS Dhoni for dropping Yusuf Pathan, because Yusuf Pathan till that time had played all the games. So that is why I never base captaincy on these things, and I say that analysis of captaincy on the basis of hindsight is not really an analysis of captaincy. It's just some sort of comment on hindsight. When captains take decisions, they don't have the benefit of hindsight. So if you're judging captaincy calls in hindsight, I don't think it's the best way to measure those calls, because a lot of times captains can't control how that player will perform. It's beyond their control, so people need to understand that. But I do tend to agree with you that the public and the popular perception is going to be based on how it goes and how the result is, because that's what most of the people anyway see. I expected Shant to ask this. Would you drop Ahmedabad or nothing Shubman Gill if he does not perform in Asia Cup? No, I won't. And that's not because my name is Gurkirat Singh Gill. It's because it's too late to make a change. It's too late to make a change. And there have been times when Shubman Gill has scored runs on other pitches. And the thing is that a lot of important matches in the World Cup are in Ahmedabad. So you might as well play a Ahmedabad specialist if you want to. Do you see Kohli and Rohit playing ODIs after the World Cup, considering they will most likely be too old for the 2027 World Cup? I don't think they will play. Rohit will be 36 by the end of. No, he's already 36, if I'm not wrong. And Virat, I think, will be 35 in November. So I don't think so. Mumbai commentator suggesting shifting Kohli's position but sticking with Rowe at opening to fit Kishan when Kohli will play. When Kohli was playing at 4 in 2015, Gavaskar lambasted Dhoni for it. Hypocrisy. Uh, I really don't know what to say on this, because I have said of a lot of this before. I have called out whenever I felt that commentators or ex-cricketers have been biased towards people of their state or their association, and I've been told that I shouldn't really disrespect these people. So I mean, inconsistencies in the comments of cricketers or ex-cricketers has been there, and now we get to see a lot more of it. I am just happy that people are able to see it for themselves. That's all I want to say on this. Because besides that, what I'd also be saying is that I'd be really sort of inflicting my views on you people, which I'm not sure is uh, the best way on these things. Try and try and take what I like, try and understand the logic that I come up with, and then try to apply it. If it makes sense to you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, it's something that has always been there. I don't even want to go into the fact that they are not asking Rohit to change his position. I just feel that both Rohit and Virat cannot bat in the middle order anymore, because they are not very good starters versus spin. Virat is definitely not the same player that he was versus spin. Rohit cannot bat in the middle order purely because of the fact that he's not someone who relies on a lot of running between wickets, which is sometimes needed in middle overs. And he does take his time in fact, he used to take his time earlier. Post 2022, he started to become a lot more aggressive in the power play, and he can take advantage of that because of the field restrictions. And that is how he likes to get set in. He's not someone who looks to run a lot of singles or doubles. He is someone who loves to deal in boundaries. And for a player like that, the benefit of the power play is very important. So, uh, Rohit or Kohli batting at 4 is not something I am in favor of. Kohli should be 3, Shreyas Iyer should be 4, KL Rahul should be 5 if everyone's fit. Stealing a comment someone made for the baby or podcast because it applies to this channel a lot. पढ़े लिखो का sports तक. Thank you so much, Aditya. I will convey the same forward to the entire team of cricket.com. Thank you so much. Love the fact that people like you tune in and look forward to our shows and our content. I say this with complete honesty that there is no greater gratification than this, than the few people who turn up once, turning up again, and really liking the content that we do. Really, really happy to hear this. And I really hope that you bring in a lot more people to watch our content in the future, because that is what the ultimate aim is. Thank you so much, Aditya. And please, those who have been watching, if you haven't liked the show, please like it. Please press the like button. That helps our algorithm. That helps us to be on your feed a lot more often than usual. And it will help us grow. So do subscribe to cricket.com, like this video, and follow us on all social media platforms as well. If you want to follow me, if you want to reach out to me, uh, I am there as Gurkirat as Gill on Twitter, or what now it's called X, and on Instagram I'm there as GillyCricket. So you can do that too. Shoaib Mohammad asks, "What's your take on Pakistan squad? Can they compete against India?" There's no reason why they can't. I mean, there is no reason why any of the teams, 10 teams that have qualified to the World Cup, can't compete against India. Pakistan can very well compete against India. In fact, if Pakistan have to bowl second in Ahmedabad, and if the ball swings the way it swung in the IPL, India could be in a real trouble facing the Pakistan pace trio. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Mayur Madiwalar is asking thoughts on the Pakistan Afghanistan ODI series at the moment. Afghanistan looking quite competitive. I did catch the scores today, and I caught the scores of the last game as well. I think that Pakistan paces were too much for Afghanistan in the last game, but I really liked. I mean, I heard Rahmanullah Gurbaz scoring 151, which is an outstanding score. So yes, they've been competitive. Afghanistan have become a better squad, but I've really not been able to watch it. I've been able to follow it, but there's a difference, which is why I will not really go into a lot of details. I hope you guys understand. What will be the consequences of India not winning the World Cup? I see bad things happening. There will be outrage, a lot of outrage. Uh, People are going to call for the heads of the captain and the coach, and then the other consequence would be a lot of people asking for oldies to move on. Uh, and if you look at this Indian team, the core is anyway over 30. Virat Kohli is 35, Rohit Sharma is 36, Ravindra Jadeja is 34, Mohammad Shami is 32, 33. Uh, I think even KL Rahul is above 30. So there will be a talk of asking oldies to move on. And yeah, if Hardik Pandya doesn't have a good World Cup, he will also face a lot of backlash because he's not really the crowd favorite for a lot of reasons. Shubham Sharma is asking which is more effective, wrist spinners versus finger spin in ODIs. Uh, of late, it's really been wrist spinners which has been more effective, and the reason for that is a lot of ODI cricket has been played on absolutely flat pitches. When you are playing on flat pitches, finger spin really can't do much. You really need something off the pitch to happen, or you need to deceive the batter, in the loop, in the air, or through your action. So, if you're playing on flat pitches, then wrist spinners is the way to go. But if you're playing on pitches which are slow, abrasive, or offer a little more turn, finger spin can do the job. And I think that exists for all formats. Vikas Yadav says, Paji, what about that commitment of BCCI of staying among 22 to 20 to 22 shortlisted players in group? I'm sure Tilak would not have been among those 20 to 22. I don't know why anyone took that seriously, to be very honest, because there was no list. So they could have said pretty much anything and we would have had to agree. So it's as simple as that. Kavin Kumar says, high possibility that Pakistan will win first encounter because most of Indian players in the 11 are coming from an injury or a break, whereas Pak coming with practice match again Afghanistan. Your thoughts? Yeah, you could say that. I mean, there's logic attached to it for sure. They've definitely played more ODI cricket. They've had a lot of players from their first 11 playing together, which has not been the case for India. So yes, it is a possibility, and they can win that game. It isn't a far fetched thought. सचिन मुंडल सेज, लगता है पाजी को मेरा क्वेश्चन काफी हार्ड लग रहा है इसलिए बार बार अवॉइड कर रहे हैं, जस्ट वांट टू नो द प्लेइंग 11 विद प्रॉपर बैटिंग ऑर्डर एज राहुल कैन बी अनअवेलेबल। सचिन, मैंने आपका क्वेश्चन देखा नहीं क्योंकि मेरे को फीड में दिखा नहीं, मैं अवॉइड नहीं कर रहा था, और ये जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा है मेरे से, ये मैं एड्रेस कर चुका हूँ, बट क्योंकि अभी आपने दोबारा पूछा है तो मैं आपको एड्रेस कर देता हूँ। अगर राहुल अनअवेलेबल हैं तो मेरा बैटिंग ऑर्डर होगा रोहित शर्मा, शुभमन गिल ओपन करेंगे, नंबर 3 पे विराट कोहली, नंबर 4 पे श्रेयस अय्यर, नंबर 5 पे ईशान किशन। ईशान किशन और श्रेयस अय्यर की पोजीशन चेंज हो सकती है डिपेंडिंग अपॉन सिचुएशन। अगर लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर या रिस्ट स्पिनर, लेग स्पिनर ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं और आपको राइट हैंडेड बैटर्स की मोनोटनी तोड़नी है तो आप प्लीज एक लेफ्ट हैंडर को भेजें, एंड वो ईशान किशन हो सकते हैं। नंबर 6 पे हार्दिक पांड्या, 7 पे रविंद्र जडेजा, 8 पे शार्दुल ठाकुर, 9 पे कुलदीप यादव, 10 पे जसप्रीत बुमराह और 11 पे मोहम्मद सिराज। Max Mojo says, "Is Bhuvi just out of the white ball setup now? What did he do wrong? I think he did decent in the last T20 World Cup." Yes, he is, because when once the swing goes out, he becomes very ineffective, and age is also not in his sight. For me, Mohammad Siraj, he's been better than Shami since the beginning of 2022. Siraj has been outstanding as an ODI bowler in all phases for India. Thoughts on England squad? They look like a team who have all departments logged and loaded, even though there is no Brook. We'll have to see that how their bowling shapes up. I'm always a little worried about their bowling because I feel that in order to elongate their batting depth, uh, they sometimes um, they sometimes make some shortcuts is not the word. I'm not able to find the correct word here. What's the word I am looking for? They compromise sometimes on that bowling quality. Depends on how their bowling comes along. I think batting wise, like you said, they're definitely up there, and they could probably chase any total. But bowling wise, I'm a little worried. But overall, they should be okay. They should really be a contender to reach the last four. Paji, if is any chance if we can see Boom, Siraj, and Shami playing together, if Bumrah's batting gives confidence, unlikely, very unlikely. Jashanpreet Singh is asking, Paji, do you think we have the batting stability to play Bumrah, Shami, and Siraj together? No, not happening. Okay, a lot of mean questions, same questions being asked. Why a lot of people on the X app have been discarding Shami from playing 11? Would you really pick Shardul Thakur over Mohammad Shami? Uh, Mohammad Shami is a better ODI bowler, but if you just look at career stats, but Shardul Thakur has now been consistent and he offers batting depth, which Mohammad Shami doesn't. And Mohammad Shami also isn't a great bowler in the last 15 overs. He goes for a lot of runs. And if you have Siraj and Bumrah to take up the responsibilities with the new ball, let's not forget that even Hardik Pandya has been bowling with the new ball and has been bowling when there is assistance of swing. You really need someone who can add batting depth, and that batting depth is added only by Shardul Thakur and not by any other bowler. So there's a reason why Shardul Thakur is being preferred over Mohammad Shami. Paji, your prediction on this World Cup? Difficult to say right now anything. The only prediction that I make is that fans are going to make a lot of complaints because of how the ticketing system and the late schedules have come out, and we could rarely see stadiums not being filled for a lot of non-India games, and that's not going to be great advertisement for the World Cup and the game of cricket. Seven batters plus four best bowler versus compromised bowling attack to elongate batting, which is better? I'd have to say the latter, because now with only with only four fielders outside between 11 to 30, 11 to overs 40, and the two new balls, you anyway can't play with seven batters and four best bowlers. You need a lot more bowling options. You can actually play six plus five, or you could play with a couple of all rounders. So I'd really have the latter. I don't think seven plus four can work anymore. Prasid should be in 15 and not Shami, in my view. Yeah, that's. I don't think I can agree to that because Prasid has hardly played any ODI cricket in a long time. So, yeah, I think the last time Prasid played any ODI cricket was in England last year. So and Shami's been far more consistent. So I don't think I can replace that. And anyway, I feel that India should really protect Prasidh Krishna for red ball, given his height. He could really be the replacement for Ishant Sharma that India have been looking for. Should really be on the plane to South Africa for those two test matches for sure. John Smith says Shardul and Kuldeep doing a Liam Plunkett Adil Rashid role from 2019. They will be crucial. I feel yes, yes. A bit unrelated, but Jared has often mentioned that IPL teams will take over IPL from the BCCI since the latter takes 50% revenue and does nothing. Do you have any thoughts on this? I really not looked into the money distribution system or the revenue distribution of the IPL. But if Jared is saying that, it is a possibility. But it's not going to be easy because BCCI have a lot of financial muscle power. Difficult to fight that against. Why not Sanju instead of Rahul? Hasn't Kishan not been able to perform in the middle order? He's only played 3 games in the middle order, and you can't select someone who's in the reserves rather than someone who's in the squad. So yeah, that is there. Sunny Raut says match winner like R Ashwin or Chahal are not included in the squad. Do you think for Asia Cup squad right choice has been made? Yes, I feel the oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I feel that the right squad has been selected. R Ashwin hasn't been a match winner in ODI cricket for a long time. He's only played 2 ODIs since the 2017 Champions Trophy, and that were in South Africa in early 2022. So I don't know how R Ashwin is a match winner in ODIs. I feel it's his worst format. His best format is Test cricket, and his second best is T20 cricket. And I say this when I'm a huge fan of Ravichandran Ashwin. Those who have followed me on social media would know this, but I don't think ODI is his best format. So that is there. As far as Yuzvendra Chahal is concerned, he's a one-dimensional cricketer, and right now, even in that one dimension, he's not setting the stage on fire. He's really struggling. So there's the reason why he's been dropped. Can Kishan keep without being in the playing 11? I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. Sumir Tyagi is asking, Rukiat Paji need your honest answer. सारे honest ही answer देता हूँ मैं. Do you really think Tilak addition over Sanju in Asia Cup squad indicates favoritism for a particular lobby? I've answered this. I think more than a particular lobby, it is about the preference of the captain. Because at the end of the day, the captain's head is on the line. And if anyone was in the shoes of the captain, they would also like to select players they are far more comfortable with. And I think the reason why Surya Kumar Yadav and Tilak Verma have been selected ahead of Sanju Samson is because Rohit Sharma is far more comfortable with these players. It's as simple as that. Tilak Verma is also in there because of the left-handed batting factor, left-handed batter factor, which also plays a part because India don't have any other left-handed batter. If Rishabh Pant was there, maybe he wouldn't have made the squad. So there is that. Sumit Tyagi says, and how does Tilak solves any of your problem when KL Rahul is not playing the first few games? He doesn't. He rarely doesn't. There's a good chance he doesn't get a game, but I just think that the team wanted to look at him in the nets and see how he goes. Simple as that. No, Kuldeep Yadav can. Kuldeep Yadav is a left-arm wrist spin bowler who was earlier called as left-arm Chinaman. And left-arm wrist spinners do turn the ball away from left-handers, so he can. Max Mojo is asking, what do you think of South Africa sending their C team for New Zealand test due to schedule clashing versus with SA20? Saw some journalists saying players need to speak about this. What would players speak about it? I mean, if players want to prefer playing the SA20 because of the finances attached to it, uh, I mean, why would players speak against it? See, at the end of the day, people need to realize that playing test cricket isn't sustainable for teams outside the top three, and players will prefer to play the T20 format. Also, because players have a very small shelf life, they can't earn throughout their life, so they will obviously take this route where they can earn more. Subodh Chavan says, who won the game for India in 2011 final, Gambhir or Dhoni? Both. I have a very The reason why I rarely use the term of a match winner, and a lot of people would know this, is because I feel in a sport that is being played by 22 people, 22 people, 11 players on each side, one player can hardly ever influence the result of the game without any contribution from anyone in their side. You take out MS Dhoni's innings, India cannot win. You take out take out Gambhir's innings, India cannot win. You take out Virat Kohli's 35, India cannot win. You take out the spell that Munaf Patel or Zahir Khan's opening initial spell or Harbhajan Singh spells, India cannot win, right? And I say this, I think true match winners can only exist in a format like T20 where the game is so short that one player, and that is also mostly a batter because a bowler's impact is limited by 4 overs. Right. So I only think that match winners can truly exist in T20 cricket purely because of the short format of the game. Otherwise, I don't think that you can really win matches on the basis of one player. You need contributions from others. You absolutely need contributions from others. Without that, it cannot happen. In Test cricket, it is next to impossible because if you have to play over the course of 5 days, not on all 5 days that one individual will be able to contribute, right? So, I mean, like I said, you take out MS Dhoni's innings, India cannot win. You take out Gautam Gambhir's innings, India cannot win. It's as simple as that. Last few questions. Shubham Sharma says, "Is speaking at the right time kind of a thing exists, or is it a myth?" Very difficult to answer for someone who's not played professional cricket. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Uh, at, there are times where I feel it's a myth, and there are times I feel some logic attached to it, but I'm really not sure about this. I'll have to probably think about this a lot more deeper. Maybe you can ask me this in the next show, and I'll promise that I'll actually think about it and give it some thought. Amit the Gooner says SA players don't have a say as without SA T20 cricket South Africa will not make any money. Correct. That is also there. CS Don Smith says CSA are professionalizing and investing in domestic women's cricket that has been made possible from money coming in from SA20. However, none of the match fanatics will talk about it. Precisely. That's what I said. Don't you think Aiden Markram is a very classy batsman, but people don't talk about him much? It's because his Test match record is very poor. He's not been able to deliver on the talent that he has had, and I think that's why people don't talk about him as much. But yes, he's an outstanding batter on his day. Amit Owner says speaking at the right time in tournament is not a myth. See Pakistan win in 1992. Good case. We'll probably have to see other cases as well. Do you see Rituraj making it to the T20 playing 11 after the World Cup? Feels like he's an anchor and Gill will keep him out. Uh, I think he'd be the third opener because I don't see Yashasvi Jaiswal going anywhere. But one of Rituraj or Gill will be there. But I do hope to see Rituraj and Gill open together in ODIs. Who will open if KL Rahul is not fit for the first match against Pakistan in Asia Cup? I hope it's Shubman Gill. Uh, were you impressed with Bumrah's performance in Dublin? Yes. Anyway, guys, now I've been talking on this show for last 1 hour. Into the 59th minute, I'll now be ending this show. Before I end this show, I'd like to ask those who have tuned in and have not liked the video to please like the video. It really helps us in the algorithms. It will make sure that a lot of cricket.com content is there on your feeds whenever you log into YouTube, and do subscribe to cricket.com for all other content related to cricket. If you like what I have to say, if you like these shows, you can ask other friends and family of yours who are interested in cricket or cricket fanatics to please watch this show. If you want to have conversations with me, you can follow me on Gurkirat S. Gel on Twitter, or now it's lately called X. You can follow me on Instagram as GillyCricket, and I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. It's not always possible to address each and every DM, but I try to. And I just like to thank all of you for tuning in, because, like I said early on, when Advitya had made that comment about this being intellectual yoga sports suck. There is no greater gratification than being able to talk cricket with people and see them actually look forward to your opinion. There is absolutely no greater gratification than this one. and it's a very very it's a very good feeling. So I hope to continue this, and I really hope that you guys keep turning in and tuning in to big numbers like always. And thank you so much. Bye bye.